Hello guys, welcome back. I am home from Spain where I got the plates removed from my lower jaw, and in a previous video when I had talked about getting ready to do this, I had several questions about the process and people wanting to know what it was like. So I did document some of my time there and wanted to do a quick recap of how that whole process went and the surgery and kind of the recovery, as well as a couple other quick updates just on the whole mouth teeth orthodontic situation. So let's do a little recap of Spain and plate removal. Just like I did while I was in Germany, I did take a few videos while I was in Spain so I could get some real-time documentation of how I was feeling, kind of what had happened right before and after the surgery, so you could get an idea of like the swelling, recovery, everything that was going on. But just to do kind of a quick overview, everything went really well. Like, it was not a very long procedure. I just had local anesthesia, so literally got in the chair, got numbed up in my lower jaw, and it was not the most comfortable situation. I was not in pain, but there was a lot of pressure on my jaw, which was totally normal. That was what they said I would feel. In the end, I got stitched up, so I do still have stitches pretty much from the back molar, like behind my back molar, all the way down the side of my gums. That was a bit irritating for the first few days afterwards. It was definitely kind of uncomfortable. I had a fair amount of swelling for several days, which again, totally normal. I would say it took probably 10 days to 2 weeks before I felt like the stitches, the inflammation really calmed down enough to feel like I could eat pretty comfortably and just not really notice that it was there or feel like I had to be kind of careful or I had sensitive areas. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good. Like, I don't have any pain or issues with eating or brushing my teeth. I did take a video the day after and then again either the next day or a couple of days later, so you could see a little bit of the progression of the swelling and how I was feeling each day. So let's check out those clips and then we will come back and recap. Hello, my surgery was yesterday evening, so less than 24 hours ago. As you can see, I'm pretty swollen, especially on this right side. And sorry if there's background noise. There's like kids playing sports outside. But anyway, yeah, so I had my procedure yesterday. It actually ended up happening kind of late in the evening. It was supposed to be at 5 p.m., but they were running behind. So by the time I actually got in there, I think it was probably closer to 6:30. But it was pretty quick. It felt like it took a while, but I'm guessing it was probably only like 20 minutes, maybe even 15, but it probably felt like I was laying there for half an hour while they were doing the work. It was pretty strange. They numbed me up first, obviously, and then they actually kind of covered my eyes with something. You know, I could tell that like when he was making the incision, and I could definitely feel not pain, but like feel the pressure or feel like when he was unscrewing the screws and then had to kind of get the plate piece out. And it really felt like he was like really pulling on this thing to try to get it out. Like it was sort of not necessarily like it was really stuck in there, but like it just kind of was hard to get it out. And there was at times like quite a bit of pressure on my jaw as he was trying to get it out. And it was just kind of weird because I feel like I didn't totally know what was happening at the time. I mean, I didn't want to know, but just, you know, sort of not knowing how long this was going to take or what the process was going to be like. So definitely it wasn't painful, but definitely there was quite a bit of pressure. And this right side had 2 plates on it. So that side took a little bit longer, and it seemed like it was maybe a little bit harder to get out because when we did the second side, it seemed to go very fast. But yeah, it was pretty bizarre. I'm glad I wasn't getting like everything taken out at once because I think that would have felt like a lot. But overall, it didn't, it felt like everything went pretty well and it was not traumatizing by any means. Yeah, then they just kind of stitched up the incisions and gave me some medications to take for pain and inflammation and set me on my way. So I think I will have a quick follow-up tomorrow just to make sure everything looks good before I fly home. We'll see how much the swelling goes down. It was pretty hard to sleep last night, partly because I couldn't really lie down on either side because the pressure on my face was uncomfortable. And I figure I should probably kind of prop myself up just for the swelling. So it was kind of uncomfortable. It definitely is sore. The inflammation is sore. It's not like super painful, and the anti-inflammatories and the pain meds they gave me are, doing a good job of managing all of that, but it's a little uncomfortable. I can't open my mouth very wide again. I'm kind of having flashbacks to post jaw surgery where it just feels really tight, and I can I can open my mouth, but it's just kind of hard. So kind of sticking to the soft foods again for a couple days, but I imagine this will go pretty quickly. So we'll see what it's like tomorrow and over the next couple of days, and see how it goes from there. So today is Thursday. It's Thursday afternoon. I had my surgery on Tuesday evening, so it's been almost 48 hours. I'm obviously still pretty swollen. I feel like it's maybe a little worse today than it was yesterday. I can't tell, but I have to say I feel pretty crappy today. Not a lot of pain, like the pain is pretty manageable and the swelling isn't super uncomfortable, but just the rest of my body feels sort of icky, and I guess that's just how it goes after you do surgery like this. Sometimes you're just gonna feel sort of gross, so hoping it will be a little better tomorrow because I do fly home tomorrow morning. I did have a quick follow-up appointment with the surgeon this morning to check on everything, and he said everything looks fine, looks like it's healing well, and I just kind of keep proceeding forward. And not really sure how long this swelling will linger around this time, but glad to have that done. I'm glad it's over and that everything seemed to go pretty well. And now I just have to let this heal, let the bones heal enough that then I can go back to Germany in a few months to do the cavitations in my lower jaw now that those plates and screws are gone. Overall, I do still have some sensitivities or some like general achiness, which it's hard at this point to know how much is related to that recent procedure, how much might be related to still doing some Invisalign or just my teeth, getting used to not having braces and just general healing from a lot of this other stuff that I have done. So I still have some discomfort or just some sensitivities, but I feel like at this point, a couple weeks out from having those plates removed, it definitely was not a huge deal. I felt like the healing went pretty quickly. And in comparison to having the jaw surgery and knowing how challenging that was in those first several months, this felt very easy compared to that. And so I think going into it, I knew that even if I was swollen or uncomfortable or, had these stitches for a while, that it was not going to take that long to feel like I was pretty much back to my baseline or kind of where I was before having the plates removed. I also did ask them if I could keep the plates because I just was curious to see what they looked like and was hoping they would let me keep them, and they did. I was both surprised by how big they were and also kind of how small they were. Like they seem very, very small. And at the same time, when I think about having them literally like in my face, they seem pretty big. And that one screw seems very long. That is the longer screw is the one that went like all the way back into the jaw and the kind of in the backside by the molars. I did actually throw away two of the screws that had some stuff stuck to them. It's kind of gross, but I thought it was kind of cool that they let me keep those. So I have a little souvenir from this whole surgery and process. One other question I did get was the cost of this procedure. So obviously I went back to my surgeon in Spain to have this done. I actually was really surprised when I got done with the procedure and went to check out that it was only $300. They only charged me $300 to have the plates removed. Was just pleasantly surprised to find out that it was not that expensive to have those removed. I don't know what that would have looked like here in the United States. I did actually talk to a couple of surgeons here just to find out if it was something that I could have done here. And they all kind of actually recommended that I go back to the surgeon that did the original surgery if possible. So that was what it was for me in Spain, just $300. The other question I had asked my surgeon when I was there, as I mentioned in my last video, that I had noticed some changes in my bite since my braces were removed about a month and a half ago or so. And before I left, I had checked in with my orthodontist, and she was, also surprised that I had seen these changes so quickly and was wondering if it was possible that my jaw had shifted at all since the surgery, since it's been almost a year. But when I asked my surgeon, he really said that was not a possibility at this point because it had been fixed in place, and because after a couple of months, like the bones really had healed, that there were no signs of anything moving, and that would be really, really unlikely to have happened at this point. So I guess that was good. I'm glad to know that it wasn't anything major like that, but I am still a little bit concerned about the changes in my bite. It hasn't really settled, or like it hasn't gone back to where I was like right before having the braces off. And there are just some things that I'm noticing that just don't feel super comfortable, and my bite doesn't feel as even as it did before. And it's making me a little bit nervous, but I am going to be seeing my orthodontist again before I go back to Germany in a couple of months to get permanent crown on this replaced front tooth. We're going to check in, see how things are going, and kind of come up with a plan, because we can't really do anything right now in terms of moving my teeth because that tooth hasn't healed and we don't want to mess with anything. So for now, there's not a lot we can do, but hopefully in the next couple months, we can at least see how things are looking and feeling and figure out if we need to do any further treatment or try to kind of figure out what is going on. And hopefully we can find a solution and that it won't be too much more work or more orthodontics, but that is where I'm at right now. So those are my next steps at this point, giving everything a little bit more time to heal. Then we'll be checking back in with my orthodontist to kind of come up with a game plan for after I get the permanent crown on this front tooth. Then in probably February or March, I will be going back to Germany, getting that permanent crown, as well as doing the cavitation surgery in my lower jaw. Now that those plates and screws are removed, they will be able to do those procedures. In the meantime, it has been almost 1 year since my jaw surgery, so my next video will be kind of a 1-year recap. We'll do a little summary looking back, and as always, I really appreciate that you guys are watching. I hope this is helpful for any of you that have had this surgery or maybe getting your plates removed or have been thinking about it. If you have any other questions about this, definitely leave a question or comment below. I'm happy to answer that. You can always send me an email as well. My email address is in the description box below. If you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to my channel down below to be notified when new videos come out. And thank you again for watching, and I'll talk to you soon.